you saw me take some measurements of BearTech's latest prototype, which is once again a pre-production magnetic mount. And you can see it uses a blade style connectors for what would essentially be on the OBD-C connector for power and data. It's very versatile. It has accommodations to be used in a few different ways. I have a couple things going on here, for example. So originally when I received this, it was very, very snug and tight when putting that on. After doing it a few times, it got a lot easier. That was because these little, you can call them claws or whatever, they were kind of digging into the underside of the plastic here. So I recommended he loosen it up. It doesn't really need to be super tight because it's got these set screws here. I've got two different types of set screws installed at the moment. And one is definitely a lot bigger than the other. That's going to be the ones on the left here. And the ones on the right, you can see they look white. They look white because they have special nylon tips on them. So I'll try to show you what that looks like. Here is what it looks like, a set screw with white nylon tip on it. And that gets attached using a very fine Allen key. And you would install it like that. So I have those tiny ones here, and I have some big ones, which are also set screws. I have those on the other side. This is just for demonstration purposes, but you can see it's much bigger than what the other one, the nylon tipped one, was. So get that there. So you can see the difference. So that one I have on the left, and this one I have on the right. I had some Allen wrenches. Those were provided by BearTech. And there's another little package here. He actually sent me quite a bit of stuff. This one says bracket screws, and he provided a small Phillips screwdriver. It's if I didn't have a screwdriver, this one would definitely work. This one was used to attach these screws here. There are 6 of these screws. I have 2 of these magnetic mounts, and it's actually on the screen. You might not realize it. Hidden behind this magnetic paper, which shows the magnets, is another mount. This one has the poles, the magnetic poles switched a little bit, so you can see this one is all south poles and this one is north, north, south, south. So he provided that to me because he previously experienced on the other mounts for his C3, C3X setup, I believe. Some of the customers, I guess, had an issue with the fans not working properly. So that was resolved by flipping the magnetic polarity around. In this case, I've already done some fan tests and it works fine. So what you receive will probably be similar to this. So also the VHB that is going to be on the production units will be just one solid piece, not a bunch of little strips like this. And there's actually 2 different orientations that you can install this all together, which in this case you can see I have the cable on the left side connecting to the OBD-C port on the 4 on the right side. But he does provide another cable here, and that is in case you want to switch things up and have this all rotated around basically. And then you could go like that. And go like that. So then in this case, you'd be sliding it out to the right. So one thing I've noticed is, so here's the cable that would go then to your windshield. So it would be like that. When you slide it out, it definitely comes right by, like, probably kind of touches the cable here. So very tight tolerances. Although this setup looks very big, it's basically not adding anything to your distraction on the windshield. But it will be sliding right by the cable there. Hopefully you can see that. Some other things that I have here include this is going to be a suction cup mount. I don't know how much of this is going to be prototype. Actually, I gave him a lot of suggestions. Initially, when I received this, I had actually put this together with the suction part on this side. But this side actually has a recessed area, and it just makes it more compact. It's also got a bubble level here. These stars are for fastening the suction cup. He also provided these, which use, I guess, more of a stickiness. So you could put it like that too, but I think he just intended it to be like this. When putting this on the windshield, I think you're actually supposed to put it kind of like that and then stick it first, sort of like that, because otherwise it doesn't have much space to compress. Also, I discussed this with him in quite some depth, but so you do have some flexibility on how you do things. You could mount it like that, or you could use the top hole or the bottom hole. It's got, and you don't have to use the suction mount, but this is just an example of one of the things that he sells. And this is a 0-degree suction mount. And when you stick this on, you can fasten it with this screw here. Now he has these guide rails which prevent too much motion like this, which honestly I don't care about, but I just said let's just delete that. Also, maybe consider having the plastic cover these screw holes. You can see they attach like that. Something else really cool, I really appreciated the way he thought about the assembly mechanisms for everything. He doesn't make it easy for you to make a mistake. There are little clever engineering tricks. For example, there's this big notch and this smaller notch. That means it can only go in kind of one way here. Also with this, he's got this little hex hole that's offset a little bit, so you couldn't really go like this or put it on the other side. Believe me, I tried. This rod is really cool. This is for reinforcing the setup. So honestly, pretty clever. This is just an extra accessory. You wouldn't necessarily need it. I did make another suggestion to him. Take this star and shrink it down. It doesn't need to be that tall because it was kind of preventing this from sliding nicely all the way. You would have to slide this halfway, go like that. And I suggested, let's, instead of doing a star, you could use like a cog wheel. So that might look a little bit cooler. And he also included these little CPL filters, the extra accessories that you could purchase later, but those would go like so. As you can see, I already have a stock C4 windshield mount on, and I'm really not wanting to remove it. What I'm going to do is decide, do I want the magnetic mount on the left side or the right side? And there's some interesting pros and cons to it, but let's just put that on there. You can see I have some spacing that allows me to remove it, and also the camera cover, I could slide that down. So there's already a limitation with the height, but I have this on the windshield because I want to show you the horizontal limitation. If I was to look at installing this on the left side with the cables on the right side of this setup, there would be that much extra blockage with the camera if I was to want to keep the option open of using this, switching back and forth. So I have to consider that versus it'll actually fit much better. And if I was using the C4 on the stock mount, then it would just be like this. You would see that, and it wouldn't even have a cable on it maybe. Or actually, if I had it on the left of the C4, the stock mount, I could actually just have it like that, but then it would be blocking the fan vents. So that's something to consider. And I have the cables here for either side. I think for the sake of not having it block all my view, I'll put it on the right side. Maybe just leave a tiny bit of space like that. I'll make some markings so that I understand my boundaries here. Maybe that should be a good height. So I'll go like there. And horizontal, probably this will be okay. I wanted to mention that BearTech actually made this curved. This is flat, but this is curved, and it actually does better match the windshield curvature. Once again, there are several options, but this is what I did, and this is really just an experimental setup. I do want the flexibility of going back and forth between my mounts. So here is the current setup of the device side mount on the C4. And this will be coming in from the right side to the left. So let's see how that works. So that, and then just push it to the left. You can slide it off like that, or you could slide it just a little bit, like halfway, take it off like that. It's very strong. It's not going to be wiggling and vibrating around as far as I can tell. I'll do a drive test shortly to make sure I have no GPS issues or anything like that, but it seems pretty cool. I like it.